Are you hearing my voice? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's start our program. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of our 5-day international online FDP on Viksit Bharat at 2047, an outlook on realizing the vision. We are delighted to have with us Dr. PROMITA MUKHERJEE ma'am, Assistant Professor of Economics, New Alipore College, Kolkata. Now I invite Dr. P.S.J. Sudan sir to deliver the welcome address and introduce the resource person, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Krishna, sir. It's my distinct pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this online faculty development program on Viksit Bharat 2047, an outlook on realizing the vision. This is Dr. P.S.J. Sudan, Assistant Professor of Economics, V.O.CHIDAMBARAM College. I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. First and foremost, I welcome our Honorary Secretary, Sri APCB Chokalingam sir, respected Principal, Dr. C. Veerababu sir, for their support, guidance, and encouragement conducting this FDP program successfully. Now, I would like to welcome our esteemed resource person, Dr. PROMITA MUKHERJEE ma'am, Assistant Professor of Economics, New Alipore College, Kolkata, West Bengal. Our research person, research areas are environmental conservation, experimental economics, and gender studies. Our research person presented their research article in various international seminars, conferences in South Korea and Ireland. Our resource person published a research journals in Springer, Cambridge University Press, Sage Publication, and also invented article in Oxford University Press. Now, your profound expertise will provide invaluable insights to all participants. Now, I would like to welcome the pillars of support. I welcome our head of the department, Dr. V. Valliyamal ma'am, convener of this FDP program. I welcome Dr. N. Krishnan sir, organizing secretary of this FDP program. I welcome organizing committee members of this FDP program have played a crucial role in shaping this program. I extend my heartfelt welcome to all the participants who have joined us in this Viksit Bharat 2047 FDP program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your warm address and gracious introduction. Madam, we are honored to have you with us. The session is now yours. Ma'am, you can continue.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this FDP program. Let me just share my screen. Is my presentation visible?
Slide is not visible, ma'am, but desktop screen is showing.
Just a minute. A minute. Now?
Oh, ma'am. Not visible, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
Yes. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. PROMITA MUKHERJEE, Assistant Professor, Alipore College, Kolkata, West Bengal. So I'm excited to talk about this particular topic, that is beyond income, leveraging multidimensional poverty Measurement for income inclusivity in Viksit Bharat 2047, a strategic imperative for India's developed future. So, uh, the term Viksit Bharat. The word Viksit means that it is blooming. Now, for a flower to bloom, the entire plant from root to tip has to be healthy, has to be well nourished. So, Viksit Bharat means inclusive development or inclusive growth, and for that we need to concentrate on well-being of every stakeholder of the society. So I start my presentation on this note. So India stands at a pivotal moment, envisioning itself as a Viksit Bharat, that is a developed nation by 2047, which marks the centenary of our independence. But what does the truly development India will look like? Is it merely about economic growth, or about this holistic well-being and active participation of every single Indian? So ancient, if we think about Mahabharata, the ancient Indian wisdom, there we had that timeless perspective, that is, a true leader's wealth is where the welfare of his subjects. So this profound insight underscores the genuine national prosperity is measured not just by financial matrices, but by flourishing of all citizens, ensuring that no one, not a single one, is left behind. Today, we will explore how a powerful and innovative tool, that is the Multidimensional Poverty Index or MPI, can guide us in measuring and achieving this inclusive development goal. This isn't just a moral aspiration, it is strategically and absolutely imperative for India's sustainable and equitable future. So, let's begin our discussion by understanding the canvas on which we are painting this future. That is the Big Viksit Bharat 2047 agenda. This grand vision, as articulated in various Niti Aayog strategy documents and policy briefs, lay out India's aspiration. So we can see the picture out there. So here, India's aspiration is by 2047, that is the centenary of our independence, India aims to transform into a developed nation. And this isn't just a political slogan, it is a comprehensive vision of national transformation across multiple fronts. Viksit Bharat outlines a comprehensive roadmap. It is a holistic plan that encompasses five core pillars. These include robust economic growth and prosperity, significant social progress and human development, establishing a good governance and the rule of law, ensuring environmental sustainability, and leading in technological advancement and digital transformation. So I have put some images in the right, and this shows what these goals actually mean. And so the where this is actually the absolute core of our discussion today. And this ambitious dream of Viksit Bharat cannot be realized without fundamentally addressing poverty and ensure genuine economic inclusivity for all. It is not a secondary goal or an optional add-on or just a moral obligation. It is an absolute necessity. Because the true development means lifting everyone up, not just a segment of the society. If large population remains underprivileged, impoverished, or undernourished, so we cannot achieve this goal. And that even if we achieve this goal, it will be weak and unstable. So we need to build up a future where growth is shared and opportunities are accessible to everyone. So so far we have been concentrating on the concept of income poverty, like the all those poverty line income, the concepts of absolute poverty, relative poverty, the head count ratio. But there are certain critiques of these income poverty measures. Those are, first of all, they don't give us the complete picture. Like, even if a person does not earn a significant amount of income, but still they have access to certain basic necessities like clean water resource, education, free education, free healthcare, Obviously that gives a better picture. That person may not be so much under impoverished or so much deprived. On the other hand, even if a person have sufficient income and income above the poverty line income, much above the poverty line income, but still they don't have access to these facilities, we cannot consider them actually economically well off, because certain access, certain facilities will remain inaccessible to those people. And then uh, even if a family earns enough income, there may be intra household inequalities, that maybe the family has enough income, but the women or the children, they don't have access to enough amount of food, or maybe they are deprived. There are disparities within the family. Like I can share I can share one experience. Like when I used to go to villages for my PhD survey, I found that like my PhD is on rural develop I mean forestry and rural development. So there I used to visit different villages adjacent to forest in West Bengal. And there I saw, even in those forest management committees, even if they required 33% women participation, those women were not give like they used to sit on floor. Their opinions were not considered in some cases. So this happens. So this kind, even in household also, these kind of things happens, that women are marginalized. They don't have, they cannot express their opinion in many cases. So that also income, all those income based poverty measure cannot like cannot measure all these things. Then there is volatility and vulnerability. Like income can be highly volatile for those working in income in and agriculture. Like agriculture, we all know it suffers from seasonal. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we know that agricultural sector suffers from seasonality of income. There are seasonal unemployment. So maybe their annual income, if we consider the annual income of the family, it is much above the poverty line income, but there is income fluctuations, and that volatility cannot maybe in a certain and also by these of course vulnerability. Law. So can easily pass back to deprivation. Just an
Ma'am,
income does
your
not
voice is cracking.
all the is Krishnan.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Krishnan sir.
PPT is not visible, ma'am. Desktop screen only is
No, now
visible.
like no, I stopped. Is
Check it, ma'am. Sharing your PPT.
because I
Your voice is not audible,
and
ma'am.
other part. Just a minute. Actually, I can hear other voices, sir, because like I can mute.
Madam, your voice is breaking. Your
Just give me a
PPT is
minute.
not visible. Can you please share it again?
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, ma'am. It is visible. Okay, ma'am. It is visible. Now it is visible, or I? You.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible. You please continue, ma'am. Okay. Income poverty. Ma'am, unmute your mic.
I think now I think. Am I audible now?
PPT is not visible, ma'am. Desktop screen only showing.
Now am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Yeah. Actually, what happened like 2 days back? There was such torrential downpour in Kolkata. Things are completely out of gear.
You continue, ma'am.
So, like things have closed, schools and colleges have closed, and net problem now that I can understand now. Okay, so we were talking about the limitations of income poverty. As I was saying, that there are these informal sector and people working in agricultural sector, they suffer from like vulnerability, like animal illness, sometimes crop failure, job loss, or even human animal conflict in some cases. So, and then there is some absence of agency and dignity. Poverty is not just about the lack of money, it's about the lack of choice, the lack of voice, and lack of dignity. I will explain these points later in my next slides. So, income-based measure cannot capture the absence of agency, the inability to participate in decisions that affects one's life, or the chronic stress. So these crucial aspects of human freedom and well-being that requires us to go beyond income. So next we discuss the cornerstone of these beyond income measures, that is the concept of social exclusion. Now we think about poverty not just as a financial deficit, but that something that leads to lack of access, opportunity, and recognition. Like suppose if we think we can think about a scenario that um, when we try to help poor people, it's always some sense of sympathy Matthias. Like we all have our domestic helps or our drivers. We regularly we give them whatever they deserve. We give them bonus during the festive season. But do we invite them in our houses, or do we share a dinner or lunch with them in the same restaurant, in the same table? No, usually no. We usually give them a exclusive feedback, but exclusively we don't invite them. So that is the concern of social inclusion comes from poverty. So due to social exclusion that is being happened in economic, social, political, and cultural life. So that's what I was saying. In our extended family, if there is someone who is not so economically well off, we avoid them or we neglect them in some cases. So it is about being on the sidelines, unable to fully engage in society's mainstream activities, and this could be due to the lack of education, health, or even social norms. And there is lack of voice, power, and agency. So these excluded individuals and communities often have little to do in decisions that impact their lives, leaving them disempowered and invisible. See, if there is some underprivileged people, some impoverished people, their social status is not that high, and in many cases, their demands are not their wishes are not. I mean, their wishes hardly matter. So that is the and next there is stigmatization and discrimination. So there is there are discrimination on the basis of caste, gender, religion, and location. So we all have like experience of certain things in our social status. Caste-based discrimination is very common here, and then limited access to opportunities and resources due to status or group identity. This is a critical point. It's not just about the individual failure, but also systematic barriers that prevent specific groups from accessing education, healthcare, and social services solely because of their social standing. Like, of course, if someone cannot afford quality education, it's a permanent barrier to them because they can never be part of the mainstream job market. Of course, poor education means less employability, and they cannot find a good job, and of course the good lifestyle in future. So it's a complete full stop for them. It's a barrier. So what are the consequences of these social exclusions? So it traps individuals and communities in cycle of marginalization, even if their income levels are high. Like explain this thing. See, if we think of mobile phones, 10 years back, not everyone had access to mobile phones. And now, if you see our surroundings, even the auto drivers, the rickshaw pullers, they are carrying expensive smartphones. But does that lead to their improvement in their social status? What do you think? Anybody? Anyone?
Participants,
Ma'am, can you repeat the question? We couldn't hear your voice clearly.
Okay. Just a minute. Uh, see, 10 years back, everyone did not have access to mobile phones. And now, even the rickshaw pullers, the auto valas, all are having expensive smartphone with them. So that means they can see if they are buying a smartphone worth 30,000 or 25,000. Obviously, their affordability have gone up. they can they are earning more, but did that lead to improvement in their social status?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
that's
that's
the
not the point.
still they are auto drivers or rickshaw pullers to us. But think about a situation where a poor boy from, I mean, a boy from a poor family or a girl from a poor family acquires better education and becomes a doctor. May not be their income has not significantly improved by now, but maybe that person, that boy or girl is on the verge of completion of their degree. So will that improve their social status?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that was my point. That if we marginalize people, if certain basic necessities are not available to them, no matter if their income improves or their like they can afford some better things, but still their social status remains the same. Okay. Uh, so
So,
so how
so how
how the,
the
this marginal how this multidimensional poverty index help there? There are many indicators included in this multidimensional poverty index, that is housing, assets, that which directly reflects or perpetuates these social exclusions. So let's move on to the next slides. So let's bring our discussion back to the Viksit Bharat 2047 and see how understanding of poverty fits in its grand structure. Here are the 5 pillars of Viksit Bharat. So the first pillar is economic growth and prosperity, something that focus on robust, sustained economic expansion driven by innovation, investment, and broad-based industrial and service sector growth. Then social progress and human development. So this is about investing our people in universal success, access to quality education, healthcare, nutrition, and ensuring the empowerment of women, youth, and marginalized communities. Next, the good governance and rule of law. This pillar emphasizes on transparent, accountable, and citizen-centric government, ensuring justice and efficient public service delivery. Next, environmental sustainability, that is recognizing our global responsibilities and needs of future generation. This pillar focus on green growth, renewable energy, climate resilience, and pollution control. The fifth pillar is the technological advancement and digital transformation. So we should use the power of technology to drive innovation, improve our services, and bridge divides and prepare India for the future. Now, how come this concept of poverty alleviation and economic inclusivity be included here? See, at the heart of all these pillars, like I have given this in a circle in middle of this picture. So this is the foundation. The poverty alleviation and economic inclusivity is the foundation. This is not just one pillar among 5. It is bedrock upon which all other pillars must stand. Without addressing multidimensional poverty and ensuring that every segment of the society is included in development journey, the other pillars will either be unstable or benefit only a select few, failing the true spirit of Viksit Bharat. So now we explain the pillars of Viksit Bharat one by one. So the first pillar, obviously, economic growth and prosperity. This pillar is about creating wealth and opportunities across nation, sustained high GDP growth, investment fueled by both domestic and foreign investment, and driven by continuous innovation. Industrial and manufacturing boost, that is programs like Make in India and production linked incentive schemes, aim to transform India into a global manufacturing hub, creating jobs and values. The service sector expansion, India's service sector, particularly IT, digital services, healthcare, and tourism, is a major growth engine and will continue to be expanded and globalized. agricultural modernization, that is food security and farmers' income. Modernizing agriculture is crucial not only for national food security but also for significantly enhancing the income and well-being of our vast farming population. This includes technological adoption and improved market access, infrastructure development, that is building world-class physical infrastructure like roads, railways, and ports, alongside robust digital infrastructure is essential for connectivity and economic efficiency. Finally, the financial sector deepening, that is ensuring the financial services, including credit, insurance, and banking, these are all accessible to all, especially for underdeveloped, and underprivileged people. It is vital for fostering the entrepreneurship and investment at all levels. So the second pillar, that is the social progress and human development. So this pillar is about investing in India's greatest asset, that is the people. The images on the right shows the basic focus of these pillars. So here the main focus in is universal access to quality education, that is ensuring every child regardless of background or location has access to quality education from early childhood to higher learning, equipping them with skills for the future. Next is healthcare for all, providing equitable and affordable healthcare, focusing on universal health coverage, strengthening primary care, and preventive health measures. Nutrition and food security, that is eliminating malnutrition, especially among women and children, and ensuring food security all through the sustainable and equitable food system. Women empowerment, that is promoting gender equality, empowering women economically, socially, and politically, and ensuring their safety and dignity. And youth development and marginalized welfare, which focus on youth development and upliftment of vulnerable sections. The next pillar is good governance and rule of law. So which forms the framework for all development to be effective and just. This pillar focuses on making government efficient, responsive, and fair. Here, the main focus areas are citizen centered government, shifting the focus of governance to the needs of citizens, ensuring efficient delivery of public services, and improving the ease of living for everyone, transparency and accountability, justice delivery, digital governance, and police reforms. So that the police force has to be modernized and the fairness and effectiveness has to be ensured. The e-governance should be promoted. So this is the third pillar. The fourth pillar is the environmental sustainability. So here the main focus area is green growth, that is sustainable consumption and production, promoting economic growth models that are environmentally responsible, emphasizing sustainable patterns of consumption and production, and moving towards a circular economy. Then renewable energy transformation transition, that is rapidly expanding our renewable energy capacity, that is solar energy, wind and hydro energy, to reduce the reliance on fossil fuel, enhance energy security, and combat climate changes. Then climate resilience, that is developing strategies for infrastructure to adopt the impacts of climate change, mitigating greenhouse gas emission, and protecting India's rich biodiversity. Finally, the pollution control, that is implementing stringent measures to control pollution across all mediums, that is air, water, and land, to safeguard the public health and preserve the natural resources. See, climate change is a big issue here, what we cannot avoid, but still certain preventive measures are supposed to be taken. We can all see what is happening in Uttarakhand, or like even even in Kolkata also. here, uh, like 2 days back, we had 300 millimeter rain in a span of 4 hours, and currently the entire city is out of gear. And these are all results of this climate change, deforestation. So this has to be prevented. The fifth pillar is the technological advancement and digital transformation. So here the main focus areas are digital infrastructure, that is high speed internet access available to all, ensuring digital connectivity, fostering vibrant ecosystem for innovation and research in emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, biotechnology and space technology, positioning India as a global leader. Digital inclusion, that is actively working to ensure that the technology benefits everyone and does not create some new divide. This means initiatives to improve digital literacy and access for all segments of the society, especially the marginalized. Then finally, cybersecurity. Um See, losing a few thousands over an SMS or by clicking a dubious link is very common here. So, as we become more digitally reliant, strengthening cybersecurity framework and capabilities is paramount to protect critical infrastructure, data, and individual privacy. And then there is industry 4 adoption, encouraging and facilitating the adoption of industry 4 technologies like robotics and advanced analytics in manufacturing and other sectors to enhance productivity and competitiveness. So how this demand for inclusivity fit here? So so what happens, the Viksit Bharat 2047 goals, the main goal is a developed nation for all Indians. The emphasis here is on all. A nation cannot truly claim to be developed if significant portion of its populations are left behind, struggling with basic deprivations. The social inclusivity is a key. This ensures that the benefit reach every segment of the society, because it is not enough to generate wealth. We must ensure that the fruits of the development, that is access to education, healthcare, infrastructure and opportunities, are equitably distributed and reach every segment of the society, irrespective of the socio-economic background, gender, caste and location. So uh, so just a minute. No, it's okay. Now, then why the non-income measures matter here? Because these non-income measures, they capture real deprivations, that is health, education, dignity, and they're more than just income. These are fundamental human rights and capabilities. A person may have minimal income, but if they are healthy, educated, and can live with dignity, their experience of life is vastly different from someone who lacks this. Even with similar income, and non-income measures reveal these crucial differences. And they also identify the systematic barriers, that is, they reveal where the systematic issues prevent this participation. The multidimensional poverty index indicators can pinpoint not just who is deprived, but what they are deprived of. This helps identify systematic failures. If an suppose and there is an entire village, they lack clean drinking water or functional schools, so it highlights a structural issue that prevents the participation and progress, not just individual financial struggle. Then this empowers vulnerable groups, and they highlight specific needs for women and marginalized communities. By disaggregating data, this MPI can shine a light on specific deprivation faced by particular vulnerable groups. Like for example, it can show that women in certain region lack access to ancestral care and antenatal care, or that children from specific communities have significantly lower school attendance, allowing targeted interventions. And foundation for true prosperity. A developed nation requires empowered citizens, not just affluent ones. So a truly prosperous nation is one where the citizens are empowered, healthy, educated, skilled, and able to exercise their agency. This kind of empowerment builds on a more resilient, dynamic, and just society, which is the very essence of Viksit Bharat. Now we move on to the evolution of the poverty management procedure. Initially, we all know we had income based, poverty line based measures of poverty, and at that time the poverty was measured on some monetary threshold. We all remember the Tendulkar Committee and Lakrawala Committee, which focused on consumption expenditure to define poverty line while providing a measurable baseline. These approaches were criticized for being too narrow. Then came Amartya Sen's capability approach, where the where poverty was defined as a deprivation of capabilities. And Amartya Sen argued that the poverty is not just about lacking income, but about lacking capabilities, that is the real freedom and opportunities that people have to live their life they value. This seminal idea was comprehensively explored in his influential work Development as Freedom. For Sen, income is just a means, not an end. Then came the Human Development Index in 1990s. That was inspired by Sen's work, and then the United Nations Development Program introduced the HDI index. This was a significant leap, combining three basic dimensions, that is a long healthy life, knowledge, that is education, and a decent standard of living, that is income or GDP per capita. It was first the widely recognized step towards acknowledging the multidimensionality of development. But these HDI also have some limitations. See, this is an aggregate measure. We all know that for a country there is only one HDI value, and depending on we can say whether the country is developed or underdeveloped, that we can infer. But what about the individual level income, or the individual level poverty, or the individual level deprivation? That cannot be captured using this Human Development Index. So we move on to the Multidimensional Poverty Index. This was pioneered by the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative with the UNDP at 2010. It is a globally recognized measure based on the rigorous methodology proposed by Sabina Alker and James Foster. Uh, so, uh, they assesses poverty based on the opportunities, based on the concept of sense capabilities. Instead of just income, MPI looks at multiple indicators of deprivation across three dimensions of well-being. It identifies people who are poor not just in one aspect but in several aspects at the same time, and this reflects the reality that deprivation is often clustered together. There is a dual cut approach, that is, one is the deprivation cutoff for each of the multiple indicators like years of schooling, access to clean water. I'll explain this later. There is a specific threshold. If a household or an individual falls below that threshold, they are considered deprived in that particular indicator. And there is a poverty cutoff approach as well, poverty cutoff as well, that is, all the weighted sum of these deprivation, if that goes beyond 33%, then the person can be considered as multidimensionally poor. And the multidimensional poverty index is headcount into this intensity or and severity. So it is itself a product of two key components, that is headcount ratio and intensity of poverty. So that is the average proportion of deprivation suffered by the poor people. I will explain these later. So there are two types of MPI framework. That one is the global framework, global MPI framework, and next we have our framework which is customized for India. That is in national India's national poverty framework. So if we consider the global MPI framework, there are three dimensions, each carrying equal weights. One is health. So health has two indicators, that is a household is deprived if any adult under the 70 years of age or any child for whom there is nutritional information is malnourished. And then the child adolescent mortality, a household is deprived if any children under the age of 18 has died in that household in the 5 year period preceding that survey. So, suppose we find one individual in that household who is malnourished, then that person is deprived in terms of nutrition. And if one child died in the household in last 5 years, then they also can be considered deprived in terms of child adolescent mortality. Then education, that also has one third of it. It has two components. One is years of schooling, that is a household is deprived if no member aged 10 years older 10 years or older has completed at least 6 years of schooling. And school attendance, a household is deprived if any school aged children is not attending school. Then the living standard, that also carries one third of it, but it has six components inside this. One is cooking fuel, that is whether the household is using non LPG based fuel for cooking purpose. Sanitation, the household is deprived if it does not have improved sanitation or it is shared with other households. Drinking water, a household is deprived if it does not have access to improved drinking water, or the or if it is or improved drinking water is at least 30-minute walk from home, like round trip, right? Round trip 30 minutes walk from home. Electricity, the household is deprived if there is no electricity. And housing, a household is deprived if the housing is not adequate, housing is not made of adequate materials, that is there is no floor, no roof or walls. And assets, a household is deprived it does if it does not own more than one of these nine assets, that is radio, TV, telephone, computer, animal cart, bicycle, motorbike, and refrigerator, and does not own a car or truck. The measures so these global MPI framework measures acute poverty across 10 indicators. Now everything is not applicable for India, because here in India we have many households who don't have cars. So we the Niti Aayog have customized these things. So they use, instead of 10 indicators, they use 12 indicators to measure multidimensional poverty. And our index is called the National Multidimensional Poverty Index. So this was launched in 2021. And they as the these in this index adapts the global MPI to India's national priorities and data, and they use 12 indicators. Now what are those 12 indicators? Now nutrition, the child mortality, child adolescent mortality is same, nutrition is same. In health we have another parameter, that is antenatal care. So women received at least four, like antenatal care is like a household is deprived if a woman aged 15 to 49 years who has given birth in the 5 years preceding the survey did not receive at least four antenatal care visit for her most recent birth. Next, education. Here the indicators are same as the global multinational poverty index, that is years of schooling and school attendance. And in case of living standard, it is some extra parameters are included: cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing. assets, these are all same. We have one extra parameter, that is the bank account, which is exclusively for applicable for India's national poverty index. So a household is deprived if no member has a bank account. Now, recent progress is that the Niti Aayog's MPI Progress Report 2023 highlighted a remarkable achievement, that is between 2015-16 to 2019-21, 13.5 crore people exited this multidimensional poverty. So this is a significant, there has been a significant improvement in sanitation, cooking fuel, financial inclusion. We all know that after this 2014, lot of changes happened. Like there was Jandhan Yojana, where zero balance accounts were offered to poor people, and there was Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, PM Ujjwala Yojana to give gas connection to underprivileged people. So that those changes led to significant improvement in these areas in this last group, the living standard indicators. So So the MPI as a tool to combat social exclusion and enrich Viksit Bharat pillars. So MPI directly addresses social exclusion. That is, it identifies different groups. Like, if I know that there is a group of people who don't have clean water access in the home, who don't have toilet facilities at home, obviously we can identify those groups and take the measures, appropriate measure from the administrative side. And like, it can tell that in a if in a specific district there is lack of access to antenatal care, or children from a particular tribal group have low school attendance, accordingly the policies can be designed. It reveals the systematic barriers, that is, pinpoints where the infrastructure, service access, or social norm are barriers, where an entire region shows high deprivation in sanitation. It points a systematic lack of infrastructure rather than individual choices. MPI highlights these structural barriers, allowing policies to address the root cause of exclusion. And it inform the targeted intervention, with which the intervention can be precise instead of broad policies. We can design programs specifically for groups facing particular discrimination or deprivation, ensuring resource reach those who need it most. Just take me. So how? So let's move on to our next slide. So how can this MPI index can leverage for economic growth and prosperity? So, like, first pillar of this Viksit Bharat was economic growth and prosperity, and we all know that if the youth of the economy is educated, we have better human resources, for which can be which give us advantage in production, because we have better labor for production purpose. So if there is educational disadvantage, that is, many household lack members with 6 years of schooling, will have a low skill workforce. If there is financial exclusion, that is, a significant portion of the population lacks bank accounts or access to credit, that will that will be a barrier to our economic growth. And the inadequate infrastructure, that is, deprivation in housing, electricity, or cooking fuel, leading to lack of basic amenities, that will hinder our productive activities. And accordingly, the policies were designed, that is targeted skill development, that is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, that was focused on specific districts or communities to upgrade skills, making them employable. Then intensified financial inclusion like Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana or Mudra loans that helped small entrepreneurs. Strategic infrastructure development, that is investing in basic infrastructure like Jal Jeevan Mission for water, Saubhagya for electricity, and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for housing, directly supports a more productive workforce and better living conditions for the economic activity. So these expected outcomes is enhance employability, entrepreneurship, and balanced economic growth, where more people are skilled, have access to finance, and live in better conditions. They can actively participate in the economy, fostering inclusive growth rather than the growth that bypasses the poor. Next, how can it help in social progress and human development? Obviously, the MPI data can reveal critical issues like nutritional deficits, child mortality, poor schooling or school attendance, and lack of antenatal care. And accordingly, the policy actions were taken, that is integrated health and nutrition program like Poshan Abhijan and National Nutrition Mission and National Health Mission, targeting the most affected areas and group. Then enhancing quality education and learning outcomes, we have the Right to Education Act now. Then we have there has been improvement in school infrastructure, including water, sanitation, and hygiene wash facilities to encourage enrollment and retention. Strengthening social protection floors, that is MPI can identify vulnerable households needing income support, guiding the national social assistance program. And finally, empowering women and children, that is data on antenatal and on antenatal care, child mortality, and nutritional deficit for women can inform specific gender transformative policies and programs aimed at empowering women and protecting children's health and development. So the outcome is healthier population and educated workforce, reduce inequalities. So next we move on to the third pillar, that is leveraging NPI for good governance and rule of law. So here the MPI provides us data on specific deprivations rather than relying on some weird evidence or incorrect evidences. And the policy actions are evidence based and targeted policy making, that MPI data provides the evidence base for designing policies that directly address identified deprivations, ensuring resources are allocated where they have maximum impact. Robust monitoring, evaluation, and accountability, that is tracking the progress properly. Decentralized participatory planning. We don't have much time left. I have to be fast now. So, decentralized participatory planning, so they can give, since this MPI gives us local level data, we can prioritize our intervention and fostering more participatory and responsive governance. Reduce corruption and leakage, since now things are very much data driven and we have direct benefit transfer mechanism, so the corruption can be avoided or at least minimized. So the result is the more effective, transparent, and responsive and citizen centric governance. Then, how leveraging MPI for environmental sustainability? See, when we talked about MPI, we talked about the clean energy transition, that is using LPG as a cooking fuel, then access to drinking water, sanitation, and obviously clean energy transition. So there is the MPI data on cooking fuel deprivation directly supports program like PM Ujjwala Yojana, providing clean cooking gas to poor household, reducing indoor air pollution and deforestation. Sustainable water and sanitation management. And so we can identify deprivation in water and sanitation, and that guides initiatives like Jal Jeevan Mission to provide tap water to all rural households, and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan for universal sanitation coverage, improving environmental health and reducing waterborne diseases. Building climatic resilience for vulnerable populations. So MPI can highlight communities living in inadequate housing, making them highly vulnerable to extreme weather events caused by climate changes. This can guide programs for climate resilient housing and infrastructural development. So the broader outcome is improved public health, reduce environmental degradation, and equitable access to green solution. And finally, leveraging MPI for technological advancement and digital transformation. So MPI helps us to understand the digital divide and associated barriers. Like we talk about assets, and phone is one of those assets. By having a banking account is accounted it is considered in multidimensional poverty index. So that directly point to who is excluded from this digital revolution. And barriers to e-services, lack of basic literacy, internet access, or digital devices means many cannot access government e-services, online education, or digital healthcare. And accordingly, the policy actions are taken, that is enhance data collection and analytics, leveraging technology itself to improve MPI data collection and analysis, using geographic information system to map deprivation and artificial intelligence. Then digital inclusion and literacy, addressing the asset and education deprivation, require targeted programs like Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Suraksha Abhiyan to impart digital literacy to rural households, ensuring they can participate in the digital economy. Then seamless e-service delivery, that is MPI insights can guide the expansion and localization of e-services. For example, identifying areas with poor health outcomes can prioritize telemedicine initiatives or educational deprivations that can inform online learning platforms. And direct benefit transfer schemes are another excellent example of technology ensuring transparent service delivery. Empowering through information, that is, digital platforms can be used to disseminate information about government schemes and rights to deprived population, ensuring they are aware of and can access available support. So the what is the outcome, that is technology as an enable for all, bridging service delivery gap and fostering informed citizens. Okay, so now what are the challenges of MPI? Obviously, data gap. uh, though like the See, if we check the PLFS data and the data in different government websites, the data is not readily available, and there is data gap. Like if we check data, you can get 2019 data, then 2022 data, and maybe the current data is not available. So that is a problem. And then the lack of interministerial and interdepartmental coordination, because this requires a lot of effort and data from lot of sectors like health, education, water. They comes under different departments, different ministries, so that leads to a problem. Then capacity building and awareness at all level of government. Then sustained political will, participation, and funding. Obviously funding is a problem. And then there is difference between quality and access. Like while MPI can highlight lack of access to services, it is harder for it to directly measure the quality of those services, like the quality of education, the quality of how healthcare outcomes. That is not that data is not always available, but that cannot be always measured. And then there is socio cultural barriers. Even with resources, The socio-cultural barriers like caste discrimination, gender bias, or the challenges of reaching remote tribal population can hinder the effective delivery and uptake of services, perpetuating deprivation. Now, what are the opportunities in opportunities in leveraging MPI for Viksit Bharat? One is robust digital public infrastructure. Obviously, now even the rural grocery shop will offer you UPI services. So it is a digital public infrastructure is already there in India, with UPI facilities, the digital payment, digital services are available at remote location as well. Telemedicine, online education are all available now. Then strengthening decentralization and local governance. The existing framework of Panchayat Raj institution and urban local bodies offer a powerful platform for decentralized planning and implementation. MPI data can empower these local bodies to identify and address local deprivations effectively, leveraging aspirational district program, that is the programs which focus on improving socio-economic indicators in identified districts provides an excellent model. MPI can be integrated as a core monitoring and evaluation tool, further refining its impact and identifying next generation aspirational areas. Then public private partnership and corporate social responsibility. There is immense potential for collaboration between government, private sector, and civil society. The corporate social responsibility initiatives and private sector expertise can be channeled to address specific MPI deprivation, bringing in innovation and additional resources. Then learning from global and national best practices. India can draw on lessons from other countries successfully using MPI for policy and replicate those policies. Human rights advocacy and international collaboration. MPI resonates deeply with human rights principles. Collaborating with international organizations and human rights advocates can strengthen the rights based approach to poverty alleviation and attract global support expertise. Youth and engagement and innovation. India's large youth population is a dynamic force. Engaging youth innovators and entrepreneurs and volunteers in developing technology solutions, community program, and data analysis can bring fresh perspective and energy to tackle multidimensional poverty. So, this is my concluding slide. I think I have it's past 7. Okay. So MPI is the holistic and rights-based poverty framework that reshapes policy across 5 pillars of Viksit Bharat, and it ensures economic growth translates into it ensures that economic growth is translated into human development and dignity, and it ensures true inclusivity, which is the basic requirement of this sustainable path to Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you so much.
One minute, ma'am.
Today. You have mentioned all the pillars, various pillars. From your point of view, which are the pillars to be strengthened? The pillars in our economy.
See, if you talk these pillars, these pillars are very much interconnected. But if you as my individual opinion, if we ensure the third pillar, that is, if the third pillar, that is the good governance and the rule of law, that is strong, if the government have the proper vision, all other pillars can be strengthened. This is the basic core pillar. If the government is willing to do well, if the government's vision is clear, if their intentions is clear, everything can be handled in a proper way.
Because the reason behind the question is very simple. Earlier, you look into that any statutory body, it may be a SEBI, RBI, they're able to function independently. Okay, I'm not commenting anything on
Yes.
election commission, but in the recent past, when I look into the control over the inflation, exchange rate, and currency value is also going down. That's why I asked this question.
Yeah, it's about the government's vision. If the government's vision is clear, I'm not going to make any other type of statement. But obviously, if the root of the tree is strong, the tree is going to be strong, and that good governance is that root, which makes the whole tree strong.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, madam.
Yes. Good evening.
Viksit Bharat third pillar is good governance. You also argue for support for good governance. What on clarification? So now the government of India has so many economic policies totally failed. For example, demonetization totally failed, and GST implementation is so many criticism. So unemployment crisis is our India is 1.5%. So GDP growth
Yes.
rate continues to reduce in the every financial year.
Yes.
So many people are not efficient for skill and employment activities. So many problems criticized and government opposition parties criticized and government mentioned to or government concern for so many issues for opposition parties, but this party, the government of India is not considering anybody's. This is a how come good governance?
See, I'm not going to make that kind of statement here. For me, I was only talking about Viksit Bharat and how can this multidimensional poverty index, the concept of multidimensional poverty or non-income based measure of poverty can make a significant contribution, like alleviation of this multidimensional poverty or the non-income based poverty can make a significant contribution there. I'm not going to criticize any government, any, like, be it the state government, be it the national government. I'm not going to say anything about that.
Yes, madam. Very good evening. Sorry, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Please continue, sir. Jaya, sir, you can ask.
Yes, sir. I'm Dr. Jeevaratnam from Welltech School of Commerce.
Yes, sir.
Madam, you have given wonderful lectures or speech on this given topic. So my question is, regarding what is your opinion about that existing new economic policy? Over a generation, we have the same policy. Will it be the cause behind that various economic changes, economic factor changes in our economy?
See, the new economic policy is not new anymore. It is like it has been at least 3 decades after that. It is not new anymore. But those policies, they have increased our economic inequalities. So again, of course, for ease of doing business and all, not always be equitable. But if we can at least address the root cause of these inequalities, can provide certain facilities to poor people, that can help us. That is why we are concentrating on all these non-income measures.
That's okay, madam. My question is,
Your
What
voice
is
is
your
breaking,
opinion
sir.
about that existing economic policy? That means new economic policy. Will it be helping the? My question is so simple, madam. What is your opinion about the existing a new economic policy?
Now we are concentrating on mainly we are the entrepreneurs. We are helping the entrepreneurs. We are helping the government has a clear policy about encouraging startups or small business. So I think it leads to see if we are encouraging the small business and making in India campaign, that will lead to expansion of job market, and in some cases that will generate job for low skilled workers, and in long term it can give us better result. See, when we are talking about Viksit Bharat, the target, the target span is the target year is 2047 and this is 2025. So it's a super goal. So we may not inform what is going to happen, but we can expect good things.
Okay, madam. Only final question from my side. Question is so simple. Regarding Nidhi Aayog have been announced the reduction of poverty from 25% to 5%. Without any proving any kind of scientific measure, they have simply announced from the date of 5th February 2024. Then will it be the appropriate governance we have in this in the country called India? And will it be helpful to the economic growth of a country?
See, the thing Niti Aayog announced, when in 2016, when all these non-income based measure was introduced, we had a huge number of people falling under the multidimensional poverty index. Like they were multidimensionally poor, and then certain policies were taken, like Jan Dhan Yojana, the Swachh Bharat Mission, the Right to Education Act was there, and gradually some people could be dragged out of that kind of multidimensional poverty. So obviously by 2021, when they calculated this multidimensional poverty index, around 13.5 crore people could be dragged out of the multidimensionally poor status. So maybe what they have announced, that is based on that calculation. Maybe we don't have the data, but we cannot fully nullify their claim, and again we cannot fully accept it also. But okay, that's it.
Yeah, just I want to add only one information to the earlier question. India is now 130th position out of 193 countries. Okay, in case of Human Development Index. Okay.
Yes, HDI to 130 right now.
Yeah. So I think we are losing that position. Okay, now earlier it was close to 100, now 130. Yeah.
No, previously it was something around 127, 128. Now it is 130. But Human Development Index considers only three indicators, and MPI Index considers a lot of indicators. So obviously things are added. So we all know when we are considering mean, a small deviation can lead to a significant improvement.
Yeah, and
All
one
are
more
based on
information: the
arithmetic means.
poverty rate, that is dropped significantly 2.3%. That's a report made by
Yes.
World Bank related to India.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
It has dropped. Okay.
Participants, do you have any questions? No. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry for the disruption during the presentation, but I can't do anything. It's the entire Kolkata is out of gear. I think you have seen in the news, there was torrential downpour for continuously for 5 hours on Monday night, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. And still now the city is out of gear. In many places the electricity has been there has been power cuts because many people died because of electrification. So the situation is very bad right now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, madam, for your insightful and inspiring session. It's a thought-provoking presentation We are sure the participants have greatly benefited from your expertise and perspectives. I also recall attending the online faculty induction program at Gandhigram Rural University, Dindigul, Tamilnadu, along with you. From then, I have known you as a very active and committed academician. We are grateful for your valuable insights, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I remember that. So now I invite Mrs. F.
No, even
Rakamarai,
I
ma'am.
remember that, and it was a wonderful FDP program,
Yes, ma'am.
FIP program, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We all enjoyed.
Yes, ma'am. It was a wonderful program. Very happy on that. Now I invite Mrs. F. Rakamarai, ma'am, Assistant Professor of Economics from our department, to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Good evening to one and all to present here. On behalf of the Economics Department, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on this 4th day Faculty Development Program. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt thanks to our resource person, Dr. PROMITA Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of Economics, for taking time for her busy schedule to share invaluable knowledge and insight with us. Thank you, ma'am. I sincerely thank our Honorable Secretary, Sri APCV Sokkalingam, and respected Principal, Dr. C. Veera Babu, sir, for their constant support and encouragement, which has made this program possible. My heartfelt thanks goes to our Head of Department, Dr. B. Valliammal, whose guidance and leadership played a vital role in organizing this FTB successfully. Thank you, ma'am. I convey my special thanks to Dr. N. Krishnan, Assistant Professor of Economics, who is the Organizing Secretary of the FTB. Thank you, sir. I would also like to extend special thanks to all the department colleagues, staff members from other colleges, and PhD scholars for their active involvement and interaction, which have made today's session lively and successful. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank
the
you, sir.
thoughtful vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, ma'am. And sincere thanks to all participants for joining us this evening. With this, day 4 of our FDP comes to a close. Tomorrow will be the final day of our program. We warmly invite you to join us at 6 p.m. IST for day 5 and the valedictory session. Thank you all, and you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mukherjee ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all the participants.
Thank you.
We can leave. Thank you all.